Hello everyone, this is Pedro Romero reporting on the LCS Login 2022 tournament. I have here with me Poome of Counterlogic Gaming, who, despite a valiant showing against Cloud9, ultimately fell in Game 3 of a best of 3 series, thus eliminating them from the tournament. Poome, I understand that it was a very tough way to go out against C9, but I'd just like to know your initial reactions after playing that series.
Yeah, I mean, always sucks to lose. I mean, I think we all wanted to win pretty badly, especially after the second game. We showed that we could fight pretty well. So sucks that the third game like didn't pan out really well, and the first game, there was some bad stuff that happened. So it was kind of hard to play the first game. So it was like kind of a two-game series. Um, so it kind of sucks to lose, but it's okay. I think we learned a lot, and we showed that we could fight pretty well, and uh, we'll scrim and come back for the beginning of LCS stronger, hopefully.
Yeah, taking a dive into that series obviously was a very had a very let me say tumultuous game one, specifically for Jenkins in the top lane. He was constantly getting ganked, not having a good time. I think he was like 40 CS down
Yeah.
for to Darshan in the early game, and so but despite that, the team rebounded in game two, and so talking about the mentality of the team, like how did you guys like manage to rebound so quickly for game two, and which eventually extended that series to a game three?
Well, I think even though the game one like it didn't really go too well, and the Sion was like really tanky, we were all doing pretty well. And I mean, Jenkins had the wrong runes, so of course like the game was pretty hard for him,
Mm-hmm.
and it threw him off his game. Which I think is fine. I told him after game one, like just reset your mental. Like we know we can win this. Like we know we're better, or we know we're good at least. So there's no reason to like let that game one affect us too much because I think everyone played well, and even Jenkins, he almost came back with his lead and or with his deficit, and he was 2 items. We tried to make our best out of the game one, just some practice. Um, but yeah, I mean there's not too much. Just try not to let the losses affect your mental, especially in the best of 3 or best of 5.
Right, and as you mentioned before, like you've been taking the sort of like a leadership sort of role during this series. Um, how has that sort of aspect into your playstyle as communicating with your teammates during series or after games? How has that been refined since joining CLG?
Well, I think it depends on like the champs that I'm playing for sure. Like when I'm playing like an enchanter or like Lulu or Karma, I'm less like vocal because I have less agency. But when I'm playing like like more engaging champions, more pressure champs, I try to do my share of my team and talk as much as I can. Give information on what I want to do and what we could possibly do. Um, yeah, I mean, I try my best to be a good teammate and uh, in game and out of game because I think it's important.
How has that differed from yourself in like the summer split?
Well, I think in academy, I was also kind of a leader, so it hasn't changed too much. I think I'm trying to like build up on it, make it even better, make it a better skill. Because I think there's some places where I can work on it for sure.
Right, and now since you guys are eliminated, you guys are obviously going to take that reflective or take that reflection from what happened in Lonkin and then take that into the start of the LCS spring. And so, what are you going to take most out of playing in Lonkin?
I think for me it's consistency. I want to make sure that I'm consistent. Like the karma game, I took like a really bad decision and I walked into the bot river, which I knew was wrong. Like every time I look back at it, or sometimes I look back at it again, I'm like, wow, I knew this decision was wrong and I still took it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think it's really working on that, making sure that all the decisions I make, I know that are good, and um, yeah,
I guess
that's what I want to work most on.
there comes a certain time in which players like advance a bit further than they would have liked, just to like find a good play to engage with the enemy.
Yeah.
And so like do you feel like um that you've been like in a struggle of trying to make sure that you do not like extend post fights?
Well, I think for me, like I see good fights, like like the Rakan game. Like I mean, I always try to engage for my team. I try to like kind of test limits, even though it's a pro game. I think there's a lot to learn in those. Try to engage as much as I can if I see it. So I think sometimes it does make it so that I overextend or I do a bad decision because I'm kind of like testing the waters, see if the enemy will like respect or if they're gonna like punish my mistake, which I think sometimes can be bad because you get picked or you die. But yeah, I mean, most of the times I try not to overextend or not to do all of that.
Heading into the series, I believe many people picked for C9 to take the series 2-0. But obviously, with the way it did, nobody expected CLG to bounce back as in the manner that they did and extend it to the third game. And so, do you think that the performance against C9 fostered some believers into what COG can do for the LCS spring split?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully people believe in us. I think, I mean, we've shown pretty good games in Lock-in thus far. We've shown also bad games. So if we take on the good games and we try to, we work on our most to make sure that we're consistent, then our good games will be more than our bad games. So yeah, hopefully people believe in us because I don't think we're a bad team, and I think we're better than a lot of these players in the LCS.
You already touched upon sort of things that the team and yourself needs to focus on for the LCS spring split. And so, can you like elaborate on that? Like, what exactly will the team focus on, and also yourself, if you'd like, um would focus on improving for spring.
Well, I can't really talk about my teammates. I don't know exactly what they're trying to work on exactly. But I can talk about myself. As I previously said, I want to work on making sure that I'm consistent with the decisions I'm making. Um, I think as a team, we all have everyone in every single team has stuff to work on. For us, I think it's making sure that we are all consistent because if we all make the good decisions, then we're going to be in a really good spot because mechanically, I think we're all like really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so of course we have to work on mechanics and stuff, but I think the next step is just making sure that our communication is good, our teamwork is good, and that we all make the best decisions in those areas. And then I mean, I think it's going to be we're going to be winning and we're going to be in a really good spot.
Right, and thus leads to the spring split. I mean, as everybody understands that COG reloaded itself for this upcoming split, and so many people are seeing you guys as a step up from what COG showed last summer, in which they bottomed out in the basement of the league table. And so, do you feel pressure of being sort of required to put a better showing compared to what COG showed in summer?
No, there's no pressure for me. I know that I'm better than uh the previous people on this team. So I don't you just take it game by game, try to be the best every single game. If you lose, I mean, hopefully there's something that you can learn from that loss as an individual, as a team, and then just try to your best to win. That's all I can say. I can't promise anything. I can't. But I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna lose because I want to win. So.
Right, of course, and it's with that mindset that yourself, Poom, and the rest of CLG will take on the rest of the league in the spring split. Thank you so much for taking the time for doing this interview. Do you have any final words to share? Anything else to say?
Well, thank you to any supporters of CLG and of me. Just keep the hope up. I mean, we're all doing our best. We're all working really hard behind the scenes. So, thank you.
All right, that has been Poom of CLG. I've been Pedro Romero, and with that said, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.